So now that we understand about the return type, we can do all sort of things. Let's go ahead and perhaps make this divide numbers way better than it is before, okay? So instead of printing this out here, I can just comment this out and return the result that we want, right? Which is the division between two numbers. In this case here, instead of saying return 1.1 or 1.0, I should say, I'm gonna go ahead and say first divide by second. And this is not necessary, but I like to put that as an expression as this, right? So it's more visible. So now look at this. What's happening now is that we are making our method more concise, succinct, and better, because we're saying this is a double we're expecting. So the return is going to be just first divide by second. Save this and see what's going to happen. I'm going to run again. Now we see 3.59, all that number. Very good, because this is what we're doing here. We're systeming out the division between 3 and 5, and we multiply by 6. In fact, I can get rid of this. Command run, or control run, I should say, and 0.6. Okay, very good. Could I have done this like we did before? Obviously, we could. Just take this item. Okay, I'm just repeating things here. And I can also say, just put into perspective here, and say result. Okay, you've done it before, and just pass in the item there, save, run, and result is 0.6. Okay, very good. And the advantage again of putting this in a variable is simple, because we can actually refer to it and it looks better in many cases. And also that means we can come here and say item again. Let's say we want to add 1 to it. I'm going to say plus is equal to 1 like this. So we're incrementing by 1. So let's see what's going to happen. It's going to be 1.6. Okay, so we can do all sort of things, right? Because we put that in a variable. So that is indeed the power of being able to create not just the void method, but indeed a method that returns something, a return type. In this case, return type was the double. Okay, we could, of course, let me get rid of all of this other stuff because we already have that. Let's see, show name. You should be able to have all this stuff in a way. So I'm going to just get rid of all of this. In fact, okay, let me just go ahead and put it all inside there so you have it. Okay, so we can come down here and let's create a different type as I asked you before. So let's come down here. I'm going to say public static. Instead of double, let's say string like this. Okay, string, I'm going to say show bio as such, and I can say I want string to first of all say name, and then string is going to be bio, and then I want to say int, this is going to be age. There we go. So you can see we have a lot of parameters there. Now it says return. This is very interesting. Now here we're going to have this missing return statement. It makes sense because we say this is going to be a string type. What does that mean? It means it expects you to return a string. If anything, you can just say return string like that. So that will solve the problem, even though it's a very useless method here, but it is correct, right? Because we have here a return string, which is exactly the contract that we set it to be. But we have better plans. In fact, what I usually do when I'm creating my methods is, in this case, return type. Before I do my logic here, I just put a very empty string or whatever type that it's supposed to return. That way, I don't have that error lingering over. So in this case here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a variable. So I'm going to say string and bio like that. And I'm going to concatenate pretty much everything that I'm receiving, because remember, we're passing parameters here. So I'm going to say something like my name is, and I'm going to say concatenate what name. Okay. Oh, now I have a problem here. This is real good. Variable by is already defined. So instead of putting by here, because it's exactly what we created here, I'm going to say description like that. Okay, that's much better. Very good. The reason why is because we already have bio there, so that's not good. All right, so I'm going to pass my name and say, and I am, in fact, let's put this in the second line here so that we have more space. There we go. Nothing big here. I'm just concatenating things. I am, let's say age, passing the age, old, like that. And then here, I'm going to just pass the bio. Okay, so whatever other text that we are going to receive from the user, we're just going to put there. All right, so put a space there. Very good. So at this point here, I know this is a string. I can just copy this description here and pass it in here. So now this method, show bio, is going to require a name, a string, a bio, a string, an int, age, and it's going to do all the work that it needs to do, meaning I'm just going to put everything in a string like this and pass in here to return the description. So it's going to return all of this. Now, could we have copied all of this and added here? Of course we could. In fact, that is actually the way you should do, because even our IDE here, if you hover over, it says local variable description is redundant. Say more. It says inspection reports unnecessary local variable which add nothing to the comprehensibility of method. Variables caught included local variables that are immediately assigned to another variable and then not used. And local variable, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot happening here. So it's just saying, we could have just copied all of this like this, or cut it all and put it like that. That would work. In fact, that is what they're saying we should do. Okay. It's not very elegant. I like to put everything into variables, but let's follow the rules here. Either way, it's going to work. But as you saw there, it was complaining a little bit, right? So there we go. Now we have everything great. Save this and let's call it here. Let me get rid of all of this. In fact, I'm just going to comment this out just so that you have something for you. And I'm going to say show bio. Is that what we call? There we go. Now we have to pass our string name. I'm going to say George. I'm going to say string bio is going to be I was born in Nebraska. And then integer here for age, I'm going to say 75. Okay, there we go. Now, do you think if I save this and ran, what would happen? Nothing. The reason why is because remember, this show here, it is indeed a string. It's just going to return this whole string here, of course, with all the name, bio, int, and age, and all of that stuff. But we're not showing anything. I'm not printing out anything. So I can go ahead and say here, if I wanted, I could either put that in a variable. I can say string again. Bio, like that, is equal to that, right? And then I can say s out, just put bio. Run, now we're going to see this whole thing. In fact, let me probably move this to the bottom again so we can see it all. Okay, there we go. My name is George and I'm 75 old. I should probably come here and change. And I am years old. That's probably proper English. Years old. There we go. So save. Let's go run. We should see it better. My name is George and I am 75 years old. Put a little space there. This is just semantic, really. Nothing a big deal here. My name is George and I'm 75 years old. I was born in Nebraska. Voila. Very nice. Okay. We've used a different type, okay, which is string type, return type here for this method called show bio. You see now the things you can do. In fact, this is what you're going to be seeing a lot in Java. So there's going to be a lot of methods. In fact, methods are part of the Java core library that are very simple like this. Literally, they just return something. Of course, they will have some code here that is doing something, but at the end of the day, they're going to be returning either a string, a double, an integer, and many, many other things there. And you learn later, you can actually return your own objects. And we haven't talked about objects and classes yet, so we'll get there. All right, so you have this tool now, use it. Go ahead and create other methods, different types, as I said before. We've done double, we've done now string. You can do int, you can do float, you can do char for character, you can do doubles. I mean, the sky's the limit. Okay, I would like you to do that. Go ahead and do that and share with us what you find, the things you do, and I will see you in the next video.